Do we get it perfect? Not necessarily, because sometimes you want matchup, you want the right flow for your players as well. So sometimes you're caught in between and you try to make a quick decision on the spot, and you're going to make mistakes at times.
The Canadiens just made a move that no one expected. Their goalie rotation is not just a strategy anymore. It's a full-on shakeup. A rookie just stepped over the veteran, and it's changing how the team plays. This isn't a small decision. This is the kind of move that turns heads and flips locker rooms. Here's exactly what just happened. The Canadiens started the season with two main goalies, Sam Montembeault and Jakub Dobes. Montembeault was the older one, the trusted name. He played for the Canadiens before. Most people thought he would play the biggest games this season. But something different happened. Dobes, who is younger and new to the NHL, started playing. And he played well, very well. In fact, his record was perfect. 6 wins, 0 losses. His goals against average was 1.97. His save percentage was .930. That means he was stopping almost every shot he faced. Coaches and fans started noticing fast. Montreal was winning games with Dobes in net. The team looked fast, sharp, and confident. But still, Coach Martin St. Louis said Montembeault was his number one. He said that on record. He told reporters Montembeault was still their lead goalie. But actions on the ice started to show something else. One night, Montembeault started against the Flyers. Then reports came out saying Dobes would start against the Devils. This rotation wasn't just a one-time switch. It started looking like a pattern. Sports Illustrated wrote that the Canadiens need to make the right choice in goal, and the right choice, they said, was Dobes. They pointed out how good his numbers are and how much confidence the team shows when he plays. The Canadiens' full team record was 10 wins, 3 losses, and 2 overtime losses. Out of those 10 wins, 6 came with Dobes in goal. That's a clear signal, and fans saw it too. Social media lit up with talks about the shift in net. Now, the Canadiens have a big question. Who is the real number one goalie? Montembeault may still have the coach's trust, but Dobes has the wins, the stats, and the pressure is building to keep him in net. The goalie change doesn't just affect one player, it affects the whole team. When a new goalie starts, the defense changes. Players have to learn how he moves, how he talks, and what kind of shots he handles best. The Canadiens now need to adjust quickly, because this change isn't small. It's a big moment for the season. Dobes has made it clear on the ice. He's calm, quick, and confident. He makes big saves look easy. Players in front of him feel that. When the goalie plays strong, the whole team plays better. That's what's been happening. Montembeault, on the other hand, is not playing badly. He's just not standing out the way Dobes is. Some fans say it's not fair, that Montembeault didn't lose his spot, Dobes just stole it. But in hockey, it's not always about being fair. It's about results. And right now, Dobes is delivering. This kind of goalie change doesn't happen often. Usually, teams stick with one starter. But Montreal is different this year. They have a young goalie who's winning games and a veteran who's trying to hold his ground. The coach now has a choice to make, and it's not easy. According to reports, the team plans to start Dobes again soon. That means the rotation may continue. 1 game for Montembeault, 1 for Dobes. But if Dobes keeps winning, the team may stop rotating. They may just ride the hot hand. Sports Illustrated said, "The Canadiens are pushing forward. That choice is giving more starts and trust to Jakub Dobes over Sam Montembeault." That statement shows how big this decision is. It's not just about one game. It's about who leads the team the rest of the season. The Canadiens are doing well. They're in a strong spot in the standings. But big games are coming, and playoff spots are not given. They're earned. The goalie they choose now could be the difference between winning or losing later. For now, Dobes has made his case. The numbers speak for themselves, and the Canadiens just did the unthinkable. They flipped the net and gave the job to the rookie.
That would be Cole Caulfield. So we saw on Tuesday, he scores the overtime winner. Here, he does one better. We'll get to the tying goal in just a second, but this overtime winner, this is the 10th OT winner of his career. This is just his 5th full season with the Montreal Canadiens, and he's already tied the franchise record in that department.
Cole Caulfield just made Montreal Canadiens history, something no other player has done in over 100 years. He broke a major record, led the league in goals for the month, and walked away with a trophy. But barely anyone talked about it. No headline takeover, no breaking news banner. Just another quiet page added to hockey history by one of the NHL's youngest stars.
Big hit, puck loose. Arceau desperately trying to get possession. With 6 seconds, here they come again, down low, 2-on-1. Ahead, score! Caulfield did it.
Cole Caulfield has broken a franchise record that stood through generations of Canadiens legends. He now holds the all-time record for most overtime goals in Montreal Canadiens history. Not Maurice Richard, not Guy Lafleur, not Jean Béliveau. Caulfield. He did it in fewer than 300 games. With his 11th overtime goal, Caulfield passed every Canadiens player in the club's century-plus existence. The Canadiens, one of the oldest and most storied teams in the NHL, have existed since 1909, and no player, not even in those dominant dynasty years, recorded as many sudden death winners in the regular season as Caulfield has already. What makes this more remarkable is the pace. Caulfield has scored 10 overtime goals in just 292 NHL games, a faster pace than most known overtime performers in league history. While the NHL only began officially tracking OT goal stats in the modern era, Caulfield's achievement remains a significant standout in a franchise that's had more than its share of Hall of Famers. This wasn't the only highlight of his recent run. While quietly breaking this century-spanning record, Caulfield also delivered one of the strongest starts to a season across the entire NHL. He led the Canadiens in goal, tied for the league lead in scoring at one point, and earned the Molson Cup for October, an award given to the team's top performer based on star selections and points. But it barely made noise outside the Habs fanbase. No league-wide celebration, no major network feature, just a quiet line in a game recap. Caulfield scores OT winner, and on to the next matchup. That silence stands in sharp contrast to what he's actually accomplishing. The Canadiens are climbing back into contention, and Caulfield is the central figure. He's not just scoring, he's deciding games, in regulation and in overtime. He's setting records in a sweater worn by the greatest legends in hockey history, and he's doing it without fanfare. Cole Caulfield's overtime goal record may be the biggest story nobody's talking about, but it's not the only thing he's doing right now that should matter. While leading the Canadiens in goal, Caulfield also helped power Montreal to one of their best starts in years. The team's 9-3-1 record through October wasn't fueled by flukes. It was built on pressure plays, early leads, and late finishes. Caulfield's fingerprints are all over it. He's not just a goal scorer anymore. He's a game closer. Yet despite all this, the spotlight remains elsewhere. Bigger names, bigger markets, or flashier moments steal attention. But Caulfield's results remain unmatched in impact, and that's exactly what makes the current silence so strange. 11 overtime goals, a team-leading season start, and a Player of the Month award, and somehow it's still under the radar. Even the Molson Cup announcement barely made headline. In any other Canadian market, a player tying for the NHL lead in goals while winning team MVP honors for the month would flood sports media. But Caulfield's milestone was mentioned, then quickly passed over. No feature packages, no long segments. Just a mention and move on. That silence doesn't change the numbers. There's also the consistency. He's producing against top defenses, not just soft matchups. He's scoring game winners. He's registering multi-point nights when his team needs a lift, and he's not relying on one skill set. He's evolving with every shift. His one-timer still draws defenders, but now his skating and positioning are becoming as lethal as his shot. The NHL's oldest franchise just had a record broken that stood longer than most players' entire careers. And the guy who did it, he barely said a word. Just one more goal, one more win, one more chapter in a story nobody expected and few are talking about. But the record is real. The numbers are official, and Cole Caulfield's name is now written where no one else's ever was.
Pierre LeBrun and Darren Dreger, usually guys it takes a month or two before we get into the trade rumors of good players on struggling teams coveted by other teams, but we're well underway already with Nazem Kadri and the Calgary Flames.
Something big is happening between Montreal and Calgary. As the Flames spiral down the standings, a shocking name has quietly shaken the trade market. Behind the scenes, whispers of a potential move to the Canadiens are growing louder. But what's really happening right now has insiders stunned, because Montreal may be closer to landing a star center than anyone expected.
First thing I'd tell you is the Habs, O-Dog, my understanding is, listen, they've gone through the entire league in their preparations internally and have a list of what centers could potentially pop up between now and next season, and obviously ahead of the March 6th trade deadline this year. You name a name and it's come up internally with the Montreal Canadiens. And yes, Nazem Kadri is one of those names. I think the Habs would have interest in him.
Nazem Kadri's name has become one of the most active in NHL trade circle. The Calgary Flames sit at 2-8 and 1-11 games, their worst start in years. Kadri leads the team with 8 points in those contests and is now just 4 games away from reaching the 1,000 game milestone in his NHL career. Despite his performance, the growing instability inside Calgary has sparked league-wide trade speculation. According to multiple reports, the Montreal Canadiens are one of several teams exploring center options. TSN insiders Pierre LeBrun and Darren Dreger confirmed that Montreal continues to search for a true second-line center to strengthen their roster. LeBrun noted that if Calgary ever decides to move Kadri, the Canadiens would be a logical fit. However, both analysts emphasized that the Flames are nowhere close to making that decision. Kadri's contract remains a significant fact. He is signed through 2029 with a $7 million cap hit. Originally protected by a full no-move clause, his deal has now shifted to a 13-team no-trade list, meaning Montreal could technically pursue him if they are not on that list. That adjustment alone has created a surge of interest, as it gives general manager Kent Hughes new room to maneuver. Still, there are clear limits to how far the Canadiens are willing to go. Frank Saravalli stated on Bleacher Report's Insider Note that Montreal's top 2024 first-round pick, Michael Hague, is completely off the table. When asked about the possibility of including Hague in a Kadri trade, Saravalli replied directly, "No, it's not." He described Hague's early NCAA season at Michigan as pretty special so far, adding that Montreal have to be thrilled with yet another interesting prospect in their pipeline. But the tension continues to build. Calgary's early slump and internal struggles are drawing league attention. Montreal's need for a proven center only fuels the speculation further, and as the Flames face mounting pressure to fix their season, observers can't help but wonder, could Kadri's 1,000th game be one of his last in a Flames jersey? The next few weeks could decide whether Nazem Kadri stays in Calgary or joins Montreal. League insiders say Flames GM Craig Conroy is under pressure as the team sits 2-8 and 1, their patience running out. Kadri leads the roster in scoring and is just 4 games from his 1,000th NHL appearance, yet his name dominates trade discussion. Montreal's GM Kent Hughes continues searching for a proven second-line center behind Nick Suzuki. Players like Christian Dvorak and Jake Evans haven't provided consistent offense, making Kadri a logical fit. His $7 million cap hit through 2029 complicates talk, and any deal would likely need Calgary to retain salary or take contracts back. Still, Montreal's cap flexibility after moving Carey Price's contract to long-term injured reserve keeps them in position to act. TSN's Pierre LeBrun reports the Flames aren't close to trading Kadri, but Montreal has done its homework, monitoring his leadership and playoff experience. Head coach Martin St. Louis values that intensity. Insiders say Hughes won't sacrifice the rebuild for short-term gain, giving Montreal leverage as Calgary's slump deepens. Kadri's looming 1,000th game adds tension. It could come in a new uniform if talks advance. For now, both clubs wait, and every Calgary loss makes a move feel closer.
If you're a Habs fan, then rookie Ivan Demidov needs no introduction. The Montreal Canadiens announced the signing of the 19-year-old Russian forward to the utter jubilation of fans.
The 19-year-old Russian player's flight was the most tracked in the world.
Something shocking is happening in Montreal. 19-year-old Ivan Demidov is racing past every other rookie in the league. His early performance has already pushed him to the top of the Calder Trophy watch list. Analysts call his rise remarkable. The data says it's real. This is the crazy reason why Ivan Demidov might win the Calder Trophy. 3 times in NHL history, a team has won the Calder Trophy in consecutive seasons. The last occurrence happened in 1968 when the Boston Bruins accomplished this feat. The Montreal Canadiens now sit in position to become the 4th franchise to achieve this milestone. Lane Hutson won the award in 2025. Ivan Demidov leads all rookies in scoring through October 2025.
Folks, we have a Calder Trophy race. Ivan Demidov is right back in it. 9 points in 10 games to start the season.
Ivan Demidov has 9 points through his first 10 NHL games in the 2025-26 season. He has scored 2 goals and recorded 7 assists. This places him first among all rookies in scoring. Demidov became the first Canadiens rookie to score 9 points in his first 10 games since Stéphane Lebeau in 1989-1990. On October 25, 2025, Demidov recorded his first 3-point game in the NHL. He scored 1 goal and added 2 assists in a 4-3 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. Montreal Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki commented on Demidov's play. "He's a great player on the power play," Suzuki said. "His poise and vision, he's always finding play, finding seams. He's got a good shot, and he's probably run every single power play he's ever been on, so he's got a lot of reps on those." Head coach Martin St. Louis moved Demidov to the first power play unit before the game against Vancouver. St. Louis explained his decision. "I've known all along that Demi can play on the first power play," St. Louis said. "I got to a certain point with Demi where I felt like he had showed me that he's willing to play on the other side of the game, the defensive game, and he's bought in, and he's actually very attentive and trying to keep getting better." The Canadiens' power play statistics improved after adding Demidov to the first unit. Without Demidov on the first power play unit, Montreal averaged 93 shots per 60 minutes. With Demidov, the team produces 125 shots per 60 minutes. This represents a 34% increase in shot production. High-danger scoring chances also increased. Without Demidov, the Canadiens generated 22 high-danger shots per 60 minutes on the power play. With Demidov, they produce 36 high-quality chances per 60 minutes. This equals a 63% increase in dangerous scoring opportunities. Demidov currently plays 13 minutes and 47 seconds per game on average. He skates on a line with Alex Newhook and Oliver Kapanen at 5-on-5. NHL conducted a preseason poll for the 2025-26 Calder Trophy race. 15 voters participated in the poll. Demidov received 74 voting points. He earned 14 first-place votes. Matthew Schaefer of the New York Islanders finished second with 39 points. Jimmy Snuggerud of the St. Louis Blues placed third with 19 points. During the 2024 NHL Scouting Combine, Demidov answered a question about which player he most resembled. "I think it's a combination of Kirill Kaprizov and Jack Hughes," Demidov told Montreal Canadiens manager. Matthew Schaefer was selected first overall by the New York Islanders in the 2025 NHL Draft. He turned 18 years old on September 5, 2025. He became the youngest defenseman in NHL history to score a game-winning goal at 18 years and 46 days old. He extended his career-opening point streak to 6 games. Schaefer recorded his first multi-point game during this stretch. Jimmy Snuggerud was selected 23rd overall by the St. Louis Blues in the 2022 NHL Draft. He scored 51 points in 40 games during his final season at the University of Minnesota. He recorded 4 points in 7 regular season games for the Blues at the end of the 2024-2025 season. He added 4 points in 7 playoff games. Demidov averages 2.7 shot attempts per game and 0.9 shots on goal per game through the first 10 games of the season. He maintains a +3 rating. Demidov uses a wide skating stance referred to as 10-2 positioning. This technique allows him to move east-west across the ice with speed. Elite Prospects 2024 NHL Draft Guide described Demidov's skill set. The guide stated, "Every move serves a purpose, whether improving the quality of his look as a shooter or creating openings in the defense that he can exploit as a distributor." Dan Milstein serves as Demidov's agent through Gold Star Hockey. Milstein discussed Demidov's mental approach to the season. "He deleted all social media from his phone and completely disconnected from the media, Milstein said. Ivan focuses only on hockey and family. His personal stats don't really matter to him. The Montreal Canadiens hold an 8-3-0 record through October 28, 2025. They sit in first place in the Atlantic Division. Nick Suzuki has 13 points during a 9-game point streak. This represents the longest point streak in the NHL for the 2025-26 season. The Canadiens have 3 third-period comeback wins this season. This total leads the NHL. Montreal went 2 for 3 on the power play in their victory over Vancouver on October 25, 2025. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won the Calder Trophy 10 times. This represents the most wins by any franchise. The Chicago Blackhawks rank second with 9 Calder Trophy winners. 10 defensemen have won the Calder Trophy since 1980.
Demidov avoided the check. Demidov. Look out, gave it away right on the tape of Pinto. And I think a cross-checking call behind the play.
I think it's going to be a slash.
Sorry. It's going against Ottawa, and Nick Cousins can't believe it.